I'd like to introduce our musician today. We all know Bill Hoffman, so welcome, Bill. So nice to see you. Our speaker today is Doug, so we're glad to hear your message this morning. And our reader is Tammy. So Tammy, if you'll come on up.
Okay. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Here's some wise advice that I think everyone's mother would give you. What will it accomplish? Life is too precious to waste. Time is too valuable to squander. And yet, out of habit or carelessness, too often we put our time and energy into efforts which have no prospect of accomplishing anything. What positive, useful result has ever been attained by vindictiveness? Is anyone ever truly elevated by putting someone else down? Certainly there is a place for constructive, thoughtful criticism, but what purpose does name-calling achieve? Empty pursuits such as these are all too common. Ironically, they bring the most harm upon those who carry them out. They waste time, they waste life, and they put the focus on destructive negativity. Before taking any action, ask yourself this one simple question: what will it accomplish? Stay away from empty pursuits which have no chance of bringing results. Even if you succeed at these, you fail. Instead, put your efforts where they will make a positive difference and reap the happy benefits of your wisdom. That was by Ralph Marston. Thank you.
Our first hymn this morning is number 68, We Praise Thee, O God, and we're going to sing all verses except for 3. So we'll sing verses 1, 2, and 4, page 68. Please rise when you're ready.
Good morning. Now is the time of our Bible verse. And I don't really have a Bible verse so much as I have a collection of thoughts I want to share with you. All that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. That was a statement by Abraham Lincoln. Another collection of thoughts is there was a 4th or 5th grade elementary science teacher. And she was teaching the class about magnets, the magnets with 6 letters, M-A-G-N-E-T, and how they're attracted to iron, and iron, shreds of iron. And when the exam came time, about 6 or 8 weeks later, she put on the exam, what starts with M and has 6 letters and picks things up. And over half the class put in their mother. Just a collection of thoughts here on Mother's Day. When Jesus was on the cross and he was being crucified, his mother Mary was at the foot of the cross. And Jesus turned to her, or turned to John and said, "Take care of her." And then he turned to Mary and said to her, "Treat John as if he were your own son." You see, even in the veil of death, Jesus knew that mothers love us forever and forever and forever. Today you're going to help me celebrate Mother's Day, past and in the present. If you'll recite the statement of being with me now, it's in your orders of service. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And as noted, I am not carried.
You are you.
Right, surprise, surprise. I'm going to do I was talking to some folks earlier. I'm going to do a tune that if you were singing, this would drive you nuts. It's a song called, beautiful tune called Summer Wind. But the reason it would drive you nuts is because it changes keys 3 times. You start off in the basement, you end up on the 2nd floor.
Now is the time for our healing prayer. I invite you to get comfortable. Big, deep breath. The breath of life. As we quiet down and quiet our minds down, I hold cares, concerns, prayers in my hand. And I hold those same cares, concerns in my heart also. And we can take all of this to our Father, Mother God. Often in the past, I have gone to where my mother rests. And I've prayed this prayer. Father, thank you for giving me such a wonderful earthly mother. No other words need to be said. I invite you now, if you wish, to think of your mother, her name, her face, her smile, whether she's with us today or not. And with me, join in thanking God for such a wonderful, wonderful earthly mother. If you wish, over these next 90 seconds, you can visit this on your own, in your own silence, in your own way. Starting now. We are gently drawn back into this room. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for the promises made and the promises kept. Thank you for your love. And it is so. Amen. While we're in a prayerful mood, recite with me the Lord's Prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed is thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Thou give us this day our daily bread. Thou forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Thou leadest us not into temptation, but dost deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. A mother's heart is a child's schoolroom. I really like that one. I really like that one. Well, today, I want to do something a little different. We've all heard messages on Mother's Day, and I want to make this new and exciting for us, fresh and different and enjoyable. So you're going to have to help me as we go along. And that's what we're going to do today. About 1,100 years BC, we're going to go back to the book of Ruth, which is a short book in the Bible. It's right before 1 Samuel. It's only like 3 or 4 pages long, but it tells such a wonderful story about Ruth. About 1,100 years ago BC, Israel was having a famine. And so people were moving out of Israel. And Naomi and her husband, Elimelech, had moved. And they had 2 sons. And they moved to Moab. And I looked Moab up, and it's about 30 to 60 miles outside of Israel, outside of Jerusalem. That's where it's located, in now Jordan. It's no longer on the maps, of course. But they went to Moab for food. And like I said, she had 2 sons. And the sons married 2 Moab women, Orpah and Ruth. Well, Naomi's husband died, and then her 2 sons died, and she was just left with her 2 daughters-in-law. So she said to them, I'm going back to my hometown. I'm going back to Bethlehem. Y'all go on your way. Make your way back. And here's one of the most astounding statements I've ever heard. Ruth turned to her, and this is what she said. She said, I will go where you go. I will lodge where you lodge. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. I will die where you die, till death would part us. I thought that was astounding. What a woman. So she followed Naomi into Bethlehem. And when they got to Bethlehem, they didn't really have that much to eat. And so Ruth went into the fields to get barley and grains, wheat. And there was a rich person in that area that owned a couple of fields. His name was Boaz. And Ruth must have been a striking woman because he took a liking to her. And so he said to his servants and his help, he said, leave a little extra behind for her. Leave a little extra behind. And so as Ruth was going through following these people, she was gathering up all kinds of barley and wheat, and she was taking it back to Naomi. And Naomi was going, wow, we're having plenty now. Naomi was a wise woman, and she knew that Boaz kind of liked Ruth. And she encouraged it. She said to Naomi, dress in your nicest gowns and go sleep the night at the foot of Boaz. And she did. Well, to make a long story short, Boaz ended up marrying Ruth. And here's where it really gets good to me. They had a son named Obed, O-B-E-D. And Obed had a son named Jesse. And Obed had a grandson named King David. Talk about divine order. And then from the genealogical lineage of King David, we get Jesus. I don't know if Jesus would have been born like he is. I mean, he might have been different genes or whatever. Certainly he would have had this divine order not taken place. Had Ruth not been the mother of Obed. I just thought that was so amazing. This woman who said, I will go where you go. I will lodge where you lodge. And she ended up to be the lineage of Jesus. What a wonderful story. Well, I was reading some more on preparing for this Mother's Day sermon. And I came to some special things. These are special words. It's a mother's vocabulary. I didn't realize it existed, but it does. A mother's vocabulary. Like when they go to a restaurant and the waiter asks the children if they want any desserts, and the mother goes, "This is a dumb waiter." Or feedback. A mother knows what that is. When you want to give the baby strange carrots. Feedback. Or full name. That name you use when you're really angry at the children. Grandparents, I like this. Grandparents. They think your children are the most wonderful, beautiful, talented children in the world, but they're sure you're raising them wrong. Independent. We want our children to be independent, just as long as they do what we say. And then who done it? Who done it? No one in my house ever did anything. That's a mother's vocabulary. I also found some wonderful statements, some wonderful quotes about mothers. I thought this was very interesting. I thought I would share it with you. A mother holds a child's hand for a short while. She holds her heart forever. An ounce of mother is worth a ton of priest. A mother's hug lasts long after she lets go. And my favorite one I started out with, a mother's heart is a child's schoolroom. Well, since we're doing a little differently today on Mother's Day, I'm going to introduce you to someone else. And it's a little different, but his name is James Abbott Mcneill Whistler. He was born in 1834, lived to 1903. He's an American painter, primarily painted in the United Kingdom. When he was a young man, his father, they weren't wealthy, but his father got chosen to be the engineer for the Boston Railroad, and they made some money at that point. And then his father was offered a job in Russia, so the family moved to Russia. And James took up painting while he was in Russia. He went to one of the art institutes in Russia. He was there for 4 years. His father died. The family moved back to the United States. Well, his mother wanted him to be a minister. She thought, my son should be a minister. Well, he was a horrible minister. He just didn't take to that at all. But he did like painting. He was good at that. Tell you what kind of person he was. In 1850s, he decided, you know, I'm going to join the West Point. I think I'd make a good soldier. So through his family connections and a little bit of money, he got an appointment to West Point. Well, he stayed there for 3 years, and they said he was a horrible, horrible cadet, horrible soldier. His hair was longer than anyone else's, and he couldn't march or dress appropriately. And what really was his undoing is his third year there. They had a chemistry test. And the question was, what is silicon? And he said, well, it's a gas. Well, silicon is a crystallite, hard object. Well, that was enough. Colonel, not General, Colonel Robert E. Lee, who was superintendent of West Point at the time, said, you're dismissed. Well, later, James wrote, he said, you know, if silicon had been a gas, I'd be a general. That's the kind of person he was. But he did become very, very good at art. He studied in London, and he studied in Paris. And he sort of lived the life of a playboy for a while in Paris, and his mother kept sending him money. But he did become a very, very good artist, and he was influenced by Gustave Monet. And he got to the point in his art where he liked to do musical things with it. He would put a tune in it. He would call his pieces the arrangement of, or the symphony of. He had sort of a musical quality with his art. He signed his pieces with a butterfly that had a stinger tail. That's so much telling because they said he was very delicate with his art, but he had a combative personality. His greatest first work in 1862 was the Symphony of a White Woman. And if you look at it today, we call it the white girl. If you look at it today, it's just she's standing there all dressed in this flowing white gown. She's standing on a bare rug with a white curtain behind her, and she has this red hair just spilling down, just beautiful. That was his first main painting, Symphony of a White Woman, #1. Later, in 1872, his greatest work that we know him for today, one of the 5 greatest recognizable paintings in the world. We know Mona Lisa, we know The Scream, and we know Whistler's Mother. 1871, he painted her. See, she was not supposed to be his model. The model didn't show up that day. His mother was 67 years old at the time. And so Whistler said, well, step in for my model and I'll paint you. He was doing portraits at the time. Well, she was old at that time, a little older. I'm not going to say 67 is old anymore. And she became tired. You know, it's hard to sit for a painting, a pose. So he said, well, let me get you a chair. Then he got her a chair, and it was still a little hard. So he said, well, let me move the chair sideways so you won't have to look at me. And then let me get you a little stool for your feet. He painted that. And then setting after setting after setting, dozens of settings, he completed that masterpiece. He calls it the arrangement of gray and black, #1. We call it Whistler's Mother. She was that force in his life that kept him on keel, kept him grounded. People look at that painting today and they look at the depth of the brush strokes and the triangular use of the window in the background and how everything fits to the floor, how she's setting her pose. And all I see is a mother just doing what a mother does, helping her son out. That's what mothers do. That's what mothers do. You know, with your help today, I asked some of you if you would help me. I asked 5 or 6 of you. And you always come through, and I appreciate it. And I want to share some things with you. Our friend Jan, her mother Hazel, I want to share things with you that the mothers helped instill in us, helped give us. Jan's mother Hazel taught her hard work, responsibility, sharing with others, Oh, and one of the most important things, don't get too big for your britches. And interesting to note, Jane said, her mother always had a pot of coffee on the stove. We honestly can see where Jane gets her love for coffee, can't we? Our friend Kate and her mother Doris. She was a Midwestern country girl. She was just simple as you can go, put on no airs. She taught Kate hard work, responsibility, independence, and thriftiness. Beautiful qualities. And these are qualities Kate's trying to pass on to her children. She was always very down to earth. And just the mere mention of the word Doris makes her heart fill with joy. Our friend Anne and her mother Marie. Marie was her best friend. She talked to her every day. They shared so much with each other. And she misses her to this very day. My Wendy and your friend Wendy. Her mother taught her optimism, honesty, integrity, service to others. Her mother taught her volunteerism. You see, her mother, lo these many years, has taught Girl Scouts. No matter how many lives she has taught, there's no telling how many young lives she has taught. And she always says, when you volunteer, you help the others as well as yourself. That sounds like our prayer basket, doesn't it? And her mother, Polly. And my friend, Bob Brooks, your friend, Bob Brooks. His mother, Elizabeth. She was shy. She was a retired school teacher. She kept an immaculate house. And from reading this, Bob must have been a little bit of a handful. But she would let him invite all of his friends over to her house, and they would eat all of her food and mess the house up. And later in life, he turned to his mother and said, "Mom, why did you let me do that?" And she said, "Son, it was easier cleaning the house than it was gathering the money to get you out of jail." His mother, Elizabeth. And finally, if you'll allow me to do this, our friend, Jerry Williams. And I'm going to take this because this just is everything that I'm trying to get over today and everything I'm trying to celebrate with our mothers. I titled this, My Mother June. I'm going to read it to you. I consider myself lucky that at age 64, my mother is still with me, and even now she still has an effect on my life. She was a registered nurse all her life and worked in hospitals, nursing homes, public schools, as well as a public health nurse, making rounds to the poorest neighborhoods in Lynchburg. When she was working public health, she would pick out a family every year to provide their family gifts and toys at Christmas. When she was a nursing supervisor in a nursing home, she demanded respect for all patients, living or dead. When did this not happen? I heard about it at home. When my sister passed, she did not harbor the hatred that a lot of my family showed, but took the high road and did her best to console that great pain we all felt. I realized later that she was hurting more than any of us. She has never been a person that showed her love through hugs and kisses, but demonstrated it with the strength and fortitude than we all need in a time of crisis. She taught me to serve others as she did, with my talents and abilities. I regret that she does not live closer. Friends, I think that said it all. I think that said it all. Thank y'all for sharing your mothers with us today. Will you go in prayer with me now? Father, it is true that a mother's heart is a child's schoolroom. Thank you, Father, for letting us have our mothers, these earthly mothers. Thank you that they put up with us. Thank you for this service today, for the music today. All is in divine order. Amen.
Amen. Just let me add to my happy Mother's Day to all those other happy Mother's Days that have gone out. Mothers deserve it. Actually, you need more than one day. This tune is called My Way. I played it one other time, I think, when I was here. Usually when you hear it, it's done as a very slow, kind of melancholy ballad. And it has a kind of a, what's the word, challenge to it. Or I decided to play it my way, which is a little bit upbeat. It's more of a bossa nova, so you probably never heard it this way.
our gifts, so let's give richly of what was first given us. Please join me. Today I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent, blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God. Please take a moment while these baskets are coming around to turn to someone and thank them for the special gift that they are today. Our prayer basket is coming around. Please take a name or two. And let's pray for someone throughout the week, knowing that you'll be blessed as well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Doug, for a wonderful message, and as always, you do such a wonderful job. So thank you. Thank you, Bill, for stepping in. Our whole orders of service for the month of May has been pretty messed up. We've had changes in speakers, changes in music, so next week, Nancy will not be speaking. It'll be Melanie speaking. So it's been one of those things happen. So and thank you, Bill, for stepping in. Because Carrie was supposed to be here, and he got a sinus infection and doesn't have a voice. So don't think it did really too much good to be here. So anyhow, join us next door. The men of our church have provided us with lunch for today, and so I'm anxious to see. I only had a bagel for breakfast this morning. I didn't have anything else, so I could participate in all this. So I'm anxiously waiting. So anyhow, thank you, gentlemen, for doing that, and I really appreciate it. Not only did speakers and music change, our events changed also. We were supposed to have a game night this past weekend. We changed that. This coming Saturday night, which is the 19th, we're going to go to a Salem Red Sox game at the Salem Ball Field, and it's 6:05. Is that correct on Saturday nights? I think the price is $8 for general admission. I haven't double checked that, but I will. But it has always been $8. I don't think they've changed it. So should we meet at a certain place up there, or how soon should we get there earlier, or do you know?
I have recital that day, so I don't, you guys are gonna have to organize. I would meet at the outside fence, is what I would do, like
Do we need probably early?
I would probably be 5:30.
5:30, okay. All right, so I'll make a call later in the week, and we'll see who's going, so we can all kind of meet up together and get there. Also, coming up in May, Memorial Day on Monday, we're going to have a cookout. We're going to have it over at the Garth Milk Park like we did last year. So we'll be talking about Grove, excuse me. I get it all mixed up. Grove, over here, or wherever. So, I don't have a good sense of direction. Unless I'm delivering newspapers, then I can get there. So, anyhow, we'll be talking about that later on, at what time and everything.
Don't forget to tell us what to bring.
Yeah, we'll get all that together. We've still got a week or so. We'll probably announce that next week as to how we're going to do that. Probably like we did last year, to collect money. All right. Also, I've told some of you, and there's a card I have. Gil Barber is going to have surgery this Wednesday. I don't know any of the details yet, but we've got a card for him, and he'll be in the hospital like maybe 3 days, they said. So I've got a card, and also if anybody wants to go visit, he said that would be okay too. So just keep him on the prayer list for that. Last week I announced we have three lists over here. We have decided that, Bob Deere and I have been doing birthday cakes for the last couple of years, so we decided that maybe somebody else could take a month and do a birthday cake. So we've got a list over there. If you would like to provide a birthday cake for one of the months, we would greatly appreciate it. So not saying Bob and I won't still do one, but we thought somebody else could have a chance at baking the cake for Melanie. Anyhow, it can be store-bought, we don't care, you know, it's one of those
It'll be
things. But-
homemade, it's not.
Oh, yes, I know, I know. But anyhow, we just thought somebody else could have a chance at doing that and show off their talents and making a cake or buying one or whatever. So anyhow, sign up for that. Also, we had the usher and the woman list and all that. And we took Wanda off because she's not coming for the time being and she wanted to be off the list. So instead of making the whole schedule again, we just would like for somebody to fill in those blank spots to the end of the year or till we can redo the schedule. So that list is over there, if you would help me out with that. And the other list is that we talked about last week and a couple weeks ago. For several years, and then we changed it, we would donate $5 in honor of our father and mother, and we would buy daylilies for the bank over here and everywhere else. And Kathy and Walter says we don't need any more daylilies or whatever, because they got plenty. So we decided that if you want to donate $5 or more, and in honor or memory of your parents, or mother, and we're going to do this for Mother and Father's Day, so we're making one list. The list is in there, and then we'll make a list and print it out for Father's Day, so you'll know what you did. So it'll go for the upkeep of the outside to keep the grounds up, or if you would prefer it to go, your money to go somewhere else, that's fine too, just write it on the list beside. You know, some people said they would like for their money maybe to go to music or whatever, so whatever you would prefer to do, that is fine, just if you want to do that. Also, out at the columbarium, we have bricks that you can get engraved in memory or honor of someone, and they're $50 if someone would like to do that. And speaking of the columbarium, on the last Sunday of the month, which is the 27th, we will have, after the service, we will have a memorial service at the columbarium, but at that time also, Maria's going to have Eddie's ashes and turned out there, so we'll have that service after our regular service on the 27th. Also, the flowers for today are for Mother's Day. My mom always, she loved flowers, and she said, don't give them to me when I'm dead. So I tried to give them to her while she was alive, and she always said, don't get too big for your britches. But anyhow, so in honor of my mother, in memory of her, y'all take the roses and enjoy.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
All right, our last hymn is on page 59, Sweet Hour of Prayer, verses 1 and 2. Page 59, verses 1 and 2. So rise when you're ready.